everybody, it's Em. Welcome back to my channel. The fan is on. Let me go turn that off. Today we are talking about the NEWTS. The NEWTS? What do you ask? The Nastily Exhausting Wizarding Tests. Yes, it is that time of the year. It is August, which means that Book Roast's readathon that started in April, where we did the OWL readathon, continues into August, and we are now doing the NEWTS. So, just a refresher, if you passed your OWLs, you move on to your NEWTS, and what you took for your OWLs determines what you then read for your NEWTS. So, this video is basically telling you my August TBR. Also, I figured I would just maybe talk about some of my favorite books that I've read this summer, because summer is slowly coming to a close. Yes, I know it is August, but to me that's the end of summer because I love fall, which is pretty cliche, but I do. It's time. So let's get into the video and talk about books. I'm choosing to go through the list as they show up by class on this list. Let's see if it'll show up. There you go. So like Care of Magical Creatures would be first for me because that's just what shows up first on this list. So in order to pass my NEWTs, I need to get an O in Care of Magical Creatures. Now I went and did some research because I was wondering whether or not I just had to read the O level book or if I had to read the first two books beforehand, and I decided, well, you know, I love reading, so it really doesn't matter at this point. I'll just read all three books as part of that category. So we're starting with our A. That is the acceptable, and I have to pass that in order to move on to my E and O. So for my Care of Magical Creatures level A, I am reading Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book to the Lunar Chronicles, and I read Cinder as part of our OWL readathon, so this is just perfect. Qualifications for this book was an animal on the cover, I believe, and there's a very vicious looking dog right there. Actually, I think he's kind of cute. Anyways, so that is my first OWL readathon book. This is a little note. I will be doing NEWT updates like I did the OWL updates, weekly updates on how everything is going, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to read them all in this order. It's more going to be like what I feel like of that day. Yeah. For my Exceeds Expectations level, I will be Persepolis by, Marjane Satrapi. We've talked about this name before in one of my previous videos, and I think I butcher it every time, so I'm very sorry. But the qualifications for this book was under 160 pages, and this is the only book on my shelf that is currently under 160 pages. So this was kind of a no-brainer. I don't have any problem with going to the bookstore and finding another book. My bank account, guys. Yikes. I've already been to Barnes & Noble like 20 times in the quarantine, so we're taking precautions. Moving on. I just realized I'm gonna have to go to Barnes & Noble anyways. I keep forgetting that I don't have a book with a dragon in it that I haven't read recently. I'm already doing a reread of the Harry Potter series. I'm pretty sure Half-Blood Prince doesn't have a dragon, and I actually think I'm reading that anyways for another category. I think. Yes, I am. So I'm gonna have to stop at Barnes & Noble anyways and find a book with a dragon in it. I don't know where to start. I think I'm gonna go on Instagram and ask people if they have books with dragons in it. Okay, so the next class that I have to pass is Charmed, and all I need to pass is with an acceptable. So I have to read a book with magic in it. I'm choosing to read City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. I would also like to apologize. I'm getting used to my new lighting system. Well, I think you all know what it looks like at this point. So I'm reading City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This is the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series. I read City of Bones or City of Ashes for my owls, can't remember which one, but I read one of them. And I know this has magic in it because Magnus Bane, that's right. I have my lovely sheet here. I need to pass Defense Against the Dark Arts with an acceptable, so I need to read 2 books in that category. The first one is the last book in a series. So I will be reading Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book to the Caravel series, which I read Caravel for... Did I read Caravel or did I read Legendary? I don't remember. I think it was Legendary actually. I believe I read Legendary for my owls. So now we get to move on to Finale, which is perfect because it's the last book of a series. So I get to move on to the next category. Did I say that I had to get an acceptable or an exceeds expectations in Defense Against the Dark Arts? What did I say? No matter, I have to get an exceeds expectations. So for that level, I have to read a foiled book. So I picked The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I read this once as a kid and loved it. So I picked up this beautiful copy of Barnes & Noble. It's very obviously foiled because it shines, but also look at those pages. Aren't they pretty? I'm very excited, and this is very aesthetically pleasing to me. This is kind of like what my sheet looks like on my bed. Very excited, so I will be reading The Secret Garden. So sorry about the lighting, still getting used to it. Finally, the last book I have to read is for Muggle Studies. I only have to get an acceptable in that class, so in order to pass, I need to read a book by one of my favorite authors. So I have many, many favorite authors, and as I'm doing a reread of the series anyways, and I'm on Half-Blood Prince, I've decided to read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. No, I have not started it yet. I realize how that sounded. But I will be starting this probably on August 1st, and I will be reading this via audiobook. I'm pretty sure that's not cheating because I'm still getting through a book. So, because I've been doing the whole series via audiobook this year, which is a new experience for me. Put it in the frame then. So I'm very excited to be reading this and hopefully complete the series before Christmas because I started it like November of last year. And we're only on book 6. Alright you guys, that sums up my owl readathon. In one of my weekly updates, I will let you guys know what I chose for book with a dragon in it. Hopefully I get that very, very soon. So let's move on to some of my favorite summer reads from this summer. Alright you guys, so my first favorite summer read was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. I loved this book because I just traveled with the character. I felt like I went on the adventure with her, which was very exciting. Plot-wise, I thought it was pretty good, you know, but I picked it mostly because she went to Italy and I wanted to go to Italy. But the author and her writing, her imagery, I just felt like I was in Italy, which is perfect because that's what I wanted. So thank you, Jenna Evans Welch, for writing this book and taking me to Italy this summer. Next, I read To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Yes, indeed, I read this twice this year. So I read this once again this summer, which I love because I was just feeling like I wanted to be best friends with Laura Jean. So I picked it up and read it again. And because of this book, I now really like the color pink. Also, I really hope to try one of these recipes in the back of this book very, very soon. Maybe for Christmas I'll make one of their cookies. Everything's okay. Next we have I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. I picked this up because of the cover, but ended up loving the book as well. This was just a fun, light-hearted read that just made me feel warm and fuzzy inside in all of the summery ways. I don't know how else to explain it, but how the book made me feel. So, I mean, I just felt summery and warm and happy, and I was really happy for this character for constantly standing up for herself, and I just thought that The little romance was really cute, and the friendships that she made are so sweet, and those are true friends, you guys, like wow. So I just really loved reading this book. I read it in 2 days. I also had one of those scratch and sniff bookmarks to go with it, so that was a lot of fun. Before we get to my top favorite book from the summer, I have an honorable mention. Scythe by Neil Shusterman is currently being lent out to my roommate, so I don't have it right now. She's been reading it and been telling me almost daily updates about her thoughts and her feelings, and it's mostly her going, why? Which I can totally relate because that was my thought. Those were my thoughts too. But that was one of my favorite books of the summer, and I just don't have a visual for you guys. Finally, my favorite book of the summer was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I picked this up because 1, the cover, 2, the main character's name is Emily, which is my name, and 3, it just seemed like a fun summer read when I first picked it up. And I picked this up back in, I think, April, May, and I got to read it finally in July. And when I say there's character development, I mean there's character development, and it makes me so happy to see characters come into their own and become more confident and really experience life in their own eyes instead of, say, their best friends, their significant others. I just think it's so exciting to see a character come into their own, and that's what this was for me. Plus, there are playlists in here, like songs on a, let me just show you. Playlists, which I love because then I can go on Spotify, put a playlist together of these songs, and then I just feel like I'm closer to the character, you know? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. If you like those kind of things, please let me know so I know I'm not alone, but I love this book because it felt like a 4D experience in a movie theater. Alright, you guys, that wraps up a little bit of the summer and my NEWTs, which I'm very excited about. I will keep you guys updated with weekly vlogs on my NEWTs, and I am very excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button. Comment books you are reading or comment books you think I should be reading, and I look forward to reading with you guys, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!